I don't even know where to start. Obviously, we have to start with Cody Morris. Gave us an unbelievable outing today when it really mattered. And then, obviously, Carlos Cortez started that game for us by throwing a runner out at the plate, which ended up being extremely important, and then hit the walk-off there at the end. So have to start with those two guys, but then in between that, everybody else just battled and battled and battled, and I think just showed what Gamecock baseball is all about. Just refuse to lose and never give in.
Marco, after watching LaPlante just keep throwing all the off-speed slop, what'd you tell your guys in the ninth, or did you tell Carlos anything?
No, we didn't. We tried to tell them things throughout the game about how to approach it, but at the end of the day, guys like that, if they're on, if they have their command, if they have their control, can put the ball where they want and change speeds, it makes it really hard. There was a guy that pitched here named Michael Roth that made a lot of history here doing exactly what that kid did today to us. So just happy that our pitching and defense was good enough to match him blow for blow. And then obviously he left one pitch up there to Carlos, and he hit the game winner.
What about it is it with the lefties against this team? Is it the arm angle? Is that something you can simulate with the machines or something like that?
I mean, it's just lefties. Lefties are tough to hit in general. Like I said, Michael Roth won a lot of games here because guys like that are tough to hit. So you have to try to manufacture runs. And I thought we had 5 hits today. I thought we hit the ball a little bit better than that. They made some nice diving plays in the outfield. But at the end of the day, you know, he just kept us totally off balance. And when you thought he was going to throw a fastball, he'd throw a curveball. When you thought he would throw a curveball, he threw a fastball. So just did a nice job of keeping us off balance all day.
With Cody today, that first inning seemed to be a little struggle. What changed for him and what made him so good?
I think he just settled in. Sometimes guys like that just need a few pitches to settle in. He did. He made some really big pitches. And I think once Cody makes some big pitches and gets out of a jam, his confidence starts to grow. And when his confidence grows, that's when you see everything else fall into place.
You mentioned Carlos throwing the runner out of the plate, but Hunter also, I think, threw out 2 runners today. Just talk about the defense and how that kind of maybe sparked you guys.
The defense was tremendous, and I think our defense has been tremendous all year. We take a lot of pride in that. Guys are really good, and they know what we expect defensively. And yeah, Hunter has been a godsend back there. The way he's caught and the way he throws out runners, and you know, it's a complete effort. We played great on the infield. We played great in the outfield. Threw guys out. Just a complete pitching and defense effort. Every now and then you need to win a game with pitching and defense, and today for us was that day.
Sticking with Hunter, he 27 innings caught this weekend in 95-degree heat, and to play that well, you know, what made him so good and able to do that this year, and what made you want to do that, you know, at this point in the season?
Yeah, well, Hunter has totally transformed himself as a player. You know, probably you need to do a story on him, John, and maybe you already have, but you need to do a story on how he's transformed himself as a player this year. Lost 30 pounds because we told him, you know, if you're ever going to have any kind of impact in this game and in this program in your last year, you need to get in the best shape of your life. He's become a much better hitter. Being in great shape now has taken his defense to a whole new level, and he's just playing such good baseball at this point that we need to play him. And it's not that Chris Cullen is not a very good player too. And I sat down with Chris and just explained it to him. But at this point, Hunter is just playing so well that he needs to be back there.
I know that LT, I guess, had something with the hand, I guess. And what is TJ's possible availability next week?
Yeah, Hunter, LT, when he dove for that ball, rolled over a little bit. So obviously, you know, we feel a little snake bitten with these injuries. So we'll just keep our fingers crossed that it's not serious. And TJ will just continue to evaluate with our athletic trainers day by day. And not sure if he'll be available next week or not.
Given the circumstances with so few SEC games remaining and the way you guys won this, I guess, is this the most satisfying win of the season for you guys?
Yeah, it's got to be right up there. It's got to be under the circumstances. Last home SEC game of the year. Such a battle to go back and forth. The series was resting on winning this game, and then what it means for the implications of where we are in the league, and then postseason after that. Just we've won a lot of big games this year, but as the season goes on, the games become more important and more important because you're trying to get to that finish line. So I would say today has to be right up there in terms of importance.
Do you have a conversation with your team this week about the NCAA tournament implications of where y'all stand in
No.
the conference and those kind of things?
No. We just tell the guys, let's continue to focus on the next game, period. We've gotten where we are because we haven't taken our focus too big. If you take your focus too big, then you start to feel things that you don't need to feel. You just need to focus on playing good baseball. If you play enough good games over the course of the year, then you put yourself in a good position. So I don't think at this point we're in any position to think other than let's make sure we're prepared to play our next game.
Mark, looking ahead a little bit with school out, will you guys go to A&M, then go right to Hoover? Will you come back here? How's that going to work?
We have a couple options we're looking at right now. The final decision is not in yet, so obviously a lot of things have to be approved and go through proper channels. But we are looking at a couple different options, and we'll have that decision in the next day or two.
Coach, just with Eddie, he's had 2 rough outings, or 2 bad innings in a row. I guess, what does it say about your confidence in him and how he pitched today?
Yeah, I think it shows that we have the ultimate confidence in Eddie. We know at the end of the day there's players that if you go down with that guy, then you just have to live with it because you know they're putting everything they have into it. You know they have the character. They want the ball. He's one of those guys. If you lose with Eddie, you just tip your cap and say it wasn't meant to be that day because he's going to fight with everything he's got when he's out there on the mound. So he struggled a little bit the other night. You know, for us, we tell the players to flush it, move on, and as coaches, we need to do the same and put them right back out there. And so it's great when you do that with guys, when they respond the way Eddie did today.
What's your approach with Madison? I think he was like 2 for his last 18 or 19. I know that he's been hitting the ball hard. It's just kind of fighting it.
Yeah, we just need to continue to work with him. He can get into a hot streak and then get out of it. Like most hitters can. We just need to make sure that he's feeling good about himself, that he's in a good rhythm. He has a tendency every now and then to really want to think his way through at bats and games, and so we just need to continue to keep him confident. He's a big key for our offense, so we just need to make sure he feels like mentally he's in a good place. All right, thank you, everybody.